Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I am here today to talk to you about how to execute individual tests from the TSGL library on both Linux and Mac. I'm doing the demonstration on a Linux machine, but the same process is applicable to a Mac as well. Essentially, how you're going to execute a test file in the TSGL library is you're going to cd into the bin folder of the TSGL source code folder, and you're going to execute a test from there. So cd into wherever you put the workspace TSGL folder, and then into the bin folder, and I'll show you how to execute. I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to do cs workspace TSGL bin. So there it is. If you do a quick ls, you'll see all the test files are in there, ready to go. How you're going to execute a individual test file is you're going to do / and the name of the test you want. So we got test, let's do test alpha rectangle. And there it is. It pops up right there. You can hit escape to close the window. Just like when you do the run test bash script, you can close the window from there too. So that's how you run an individual test. Now keep in mind that every test has command line arguments. These command line arguments change the width, the height, the number of threads to use in the drawing. Pretty much a lot of stuff you can do, you can change with command line arguments, you can change in the code. So with test alpha rectangle, it takes in two command line arguments. It takes the width and the height of the screen. So by default, it's set to 640, 480 for the width and the height. That is, if you don't pass any command line arguments, default ones will be given in the source code, so that way the test can still function without command line arguments. So we can say, okay, test alpha rectangle will say 300, 300 for the width and the height. And there we go. It pops up in a smaller size. An example with threading would be, we'll say color points. So test color points is this one right here. It's colorful dithered points. The three command line arguments you can pass are the width, the height, and the number of threads. We'll say 8. And there we go. We say 4, the drawing changes. We say 1, changes completely. So there are other tests that take in different command line arguments. For example, Pong. So Pong's right there. You can change the speed of the ball and the speed of the paddles. So we can say 5, 5. The paddle moves slower, and so does the ball. We say 8, 5. The ball moves faster, and the paddle's still moving at a speed of 5. We say 8 for the paddle. The paddle moves fast, and so does the ball. So they're essentially multiple ways you can change something inside of the code through command line arguments. The three main ways you can do it are width, height, and number of threads. You'd have to pass 3 command line arguments when you run the test file individually. You can also see which tests take in what command line arguments if you open up the run test bash script. So like so. So like so, you can you can see that it says run test alpha rectangle with default command line arguments, and you can see what the command line arguments specify. So for alpha rectangle, like I've said, width and height. For test color points, it's width, height, number of threads, so on and so forth. So yeah, that essentially completes this demonstration.